Jon Snow, also known as Aegon's seventh Targaryen, is the son of Prince Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, with two deceased half-siblings. His birth followed Rhaegar and Lyanna's controversial love and secret marriage, which sparked Robert's rebellion. Rhaegar was killed in the war, and Lyanna died giving birth to Jon, who was then adopted by her brother Eddard Stark and named Jon Snow, a surname for northern bastards. Raised in Winterfell, Jon joined the Night's Watch, where he distinguished himself and was eventually elected Lord Commander. His tenure saw him face and negotiate with wildlings and combat the threat of the White Walkers, leading to his murder by dissenters. Resurrected, Jon left the Watch to reclaim Winterfell from House Bolton, becoming king in the north. Recognizing the White Walker threat, he allied with Daenerys Targaryen, securing dragonglass for weapons and demonstrating the undead threat to Westerosi leaders. Despite challenges, including a near-fatal expedition beyond the Wall and political tensions at King's Landing, Jon secured Daenerys' support against the White Walkers. Daenerys Targaryen, last of House Targaryen, escapes Robert's rebellion with her brother Viserys. Sold into marriage to Khal Drogo, she receives dragon eggs, leading to the birth of dragons. Overcoming exile and betrayal, Daenerys rises, liberating cities and amassing armies across Essos. Her rule in Meereen faces challenges, including the Sons of the Harpy. Despite alliances and conquests, Daenerys navigates political and military obstacles, committing to help Jon Snow against the White Walkers after witnessing their threat firsthand. Her campaign for Westeros, marked by victories and setbacks, culminates in an uneasy truce with Cersei Lannister to face the undead menace. Amidst power struggles, Daenerys' journey intertwines with diplomacy, war, and the quest to reclaim her family's throne, reshaping her destiny and the fate of Westeros. Jaime Lannister, eldest son of Tywin Lannister and Cersei's twin, becomes a Kingsguard at 20 and earns the nickname Kingslayer for killing King Aerys II to prevent the destruction of King's Landing. Jaime and Cersei's incestuous relationship produces 3 children, publicly known as King Roberts. After pushing Bran Stark from a tower to hide their affair, Jaime's conflicts escalate, including capturing by Robb Stark and losing his hand. Freed by Catelyn Stark under a promise, escorted by Brienne of Tarth, Jaime returns to King's Landing, where familial and political turmoil awaits. Despite saving his brother Tyrion and attempting to navigate Cersei's power struggles and the threat from Daenerys Targaryen, Jaime's loyalty is tested as Cersei's actions lead to their children's deaths and her rise to power. Horrified by Cersei's deceit over fighting the undead, Jaime abandons her to honor his pledge against the White Walkers, signaling his final break from Cersei's manipulation. Cersei Lannister, daughter of Tywin and twin of Jaime, had a deep bond with Jaime and despised Tyrion. Raised in Casterly Rock, she and Jaime began an incestuous relationship early on. Cersei's ambition and cunning defined her rise to power. Married to King Robert Baratheon in a political move by Tywin, she continued her affair with Jaime, bearing 3 children claimed as Robert's. Cersei's manipulations escalated conflicts with the Starks, leading to war after Ned Stark discovered the truth about her children. As Queen Regent, Cersei's power struggles with Tyrion, the Tyrells, and the Faith Militant further complicated her rule. Her ruthless strategies included the assassination of Robert, orchestrating the Red Wedding, empowering the Faith Militant, and ultimately destroying her enemies with wildfire at the Sept of Baelor, an act that led to Tommen's suicide. Declaring herself queen, Cersei faced new challenges from Daenerys Targaryen's invasion, but remained defiant, securing alliances with Euron Greyjoy and the Golden Company, even as she alienated Jaime, who left her to fight the White Walkers. Tyrion Lannister, youngest child of Tywin and Joanna Lannister and dwarf, has faced ridicule but is known for his intellect and wit. His mother died during his birth, causing resentment from his father and sister Cersei. Despite hardships, Tyrion pursued knowledge and briefly married Tysha, a relationship cruelly ended by Tywin. At Casterly Rock, he managed the plumbing, subtly gaining leadership skills. Joining King Robert's caravan to Winterfell, he befriends Jon Snow, and designs a riding harness for paralyzed Bran Stark. After being falsely accused of attempting Bran's murder by Catelyn Stark, Tyrion is taken to the Eyrie, but wins his freedom through a trial by combat fought by Bronn, his new ally. During the War of the Five Kings, Tyrion aligns with the Hill tribes and serves as acting hand of the king, masterfully defending King's Landing against Stannis Baratheon with wildfire. Despite his successes, he is stripped of power and made master of coin. Tyrion marries Sansa Stark for political advantage, but is framed for Joffrey's murder. Choosing trial by combat, he's condemned when his champion Oberyn Martell is defeated. Escaping execution, Tyrion kills Tywin and flees to Essos, where he advises Daenerys Targaryen, becoming her hand. Tyrion's strategies in Daenerys' Westeros conquest include a siege plan that fails and advocating for a temporary truce to face the White Walker threat, revealing his ongoing struggle to balance political cunning with his more compassionate instincts. Sansa Stark, eldest daughter of Eddard and Catelyn Stark from Winterfell, had a naive youth dreaming of chivalry. Promised to Joffrey Baratheon, she faced harsh realities in King's Landing, including her direwolf lady's death and her father's execution under Joffrey's orders. Initially believing in her future with Joffrey, Sansa's disillusionment grew with her father's arrest and her forced engagement to Tyrion Lannister, which remained unconsummated. After witnessing the Red Wedding's fallout and Joffrey's assassination, Sansa escapes to the Vale with Petyr Baelish's help, assuming a new identity and becoming involved in the murder of Lysa Arryn. Forced into a brutal marriage with Ramsay Bolton, she escapes, reuniting with Jon Snow at Castle Black. Together they retake Winterfell, with Sansa playing a pivotal role in the Battle of the Bastards. With Jon named king in the north, and later leaving for Daenerys Targaryen, Sansa becomes Lady of Winterfell, facing tensions with Arya over past loyalties. Arya Stark, the youngest daughter of Eddard and Catelyn Stark, is adventurous, favoring sword fighting over traditional ladylike activities, often clashing with her sister Sansa. Born in Winterfell, Arya's journey to King's Landing with her family marks the start of her hardships, including the death of her direwolf Nymeria and witnessing her father's execution. Her disillusionment grows with the cruel realities of court life and betrayal. Trained in swordsmanship by Syrio Forel, Arya's survival instincts are sharpened amid King's Landing's dangers, leading to her escape after her father's death. Disguised as Arry, she joins Yoren's Night's Watch recruits, forming significant bonds and facing numerous captures and escapes, including a harrowing time at Harrenhal and an alliance with Jaqen H'ghar, who offers her a chance to learn the deadly arts of the Faceless Men in Braavos. In Braavos, Arya's training tests her identity and resolve, culminating in a failed mission that sets her on a path back to Westeros for vengeance. She executes Walder Frey for his role in the Red Wedding and heads to King's Landing to kill Cersei, only to return to Winterfell upon learning of Jon Snow's ascension as king in the north. There, Arya's reunion with Sansa and Bran is tense due to suspicions and past grievances, especially after Arya discovers a compromising letter written by Sansa. Despite their strained relationship, Arya remains determined, embodying the spirit of survival and retribution that has guided her since leaving Winterfell. Bran Stark, second youngest of the Stark children, becomes paralyzed after witnessing Cersei and Jaime Lannister's secret and being pushed from a tower. Surviving an assassination attempt with his direwolf Summer's help, Bran's spirits are lifted by a special harness designed by Tyrion Lannister. After being attacked by wildlings while riding, Bran starts having prophetic dreams of a three-eyed raven leading him to his father's death in the crypts. As war breaks out, Bran becomes Lord of Winterfell in Robb's absence but is forced to flee when Theon Greyjoy captures it. Guided by dreams, Bran, joined by Jojen and Mira Reed, heads north beyond the wall to find the three-eyed raven. After being attacked by whites and saved by the children of the forest, Bran meets the three-eyed raven and learns to control his visions, but accidentally exposes their location to the Night King, leading to an attack. Escaping with Mira and helped by his uncle Benjen, Bran learns Jon Snow's true parentage before reuniting with Sansa at Winterfell. There, he uses his powers to warn of the approaching army of the dead. Theon Greyjoy, born in Pike, and heir to Balon Greyjoy of the Iron Islands, was sent to Winterfell as a ward after his father's failed rebellion against the Iron Throne. Raised alongside the Stark children, Theon grew close to Robb Stark, but struggled with his identity between the Starks and his own lineage. During the War of the Five Kings, Theon initially supports Robb, but betrays him to seize Winterfell for his father, leading to his capture and torture by Ramsay Snow, who mutilates and breaks him into reek. Eventually, Theon helps Sansa Stark escape Ramsay's cruelty, choosing redemption over fear. Returning to the Iron Islands, he supports his sister Yara's claim to leadership, only for their uncle Euron to take the throne. Theon and Yara flee, aligning with Daenerys Targaryen, but during an ambush by Euron, Theon's fear overcomes him, and he abandons Yara. After being rescued, Theon reconciles with Jon Snow, who forgives him for past wrongs. Regaining confidence, Theon vows to rescue Yara, defeating dissent among their followers to lead the mission, marking his journey from a conflicted youth to a determined survivor seeking redemption. Joffrey Baratheon was the Prince of Westeros and heir to the Iron Throne until the untimely death of his father, Robert Baratheon, at the hands of a wild boar, wherein he was crowned king. Joffrey rode north with Robert and his mother, Queen Cersei Baratheon, so that Robert could ask Ned Stark to become the new King's Hand. While there, Joffrey had an altercation with his uncle, Tyrion Lannister, when Joffrey scoffed at the idea of paying his respects for the Starks after Bran Stark fell out of a window. Tyrion slapped Joffrey repeatedly, embarrassing him. On the ride back to King's Landing, Joffrey tried to impress young Sansa Stark after catching Arya Stark and a butcher's boy, Mycah, practicing sword fighting. Joffrey, being a bully, threatens Mycah but is then shown up by Arya and attacked by Arya's direwolf Nymeria. Joffrey lies and tells his mother that Arya and Mycah attacked him and then set her wolf on him. Sansa lies to protect Joffrey, but it is her wolf that is killed in place of Nymeria. Joffrey also had his knight, Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound, kill Mycah. When Sansa and Joffrey arrive at King's Landing, he is cold to her. Eventually, Joffrey, at the advice of his mother, warms up to Sansa and accepts the fact that the two of them shall marry.